This is TWiT.
OpenAI has started testing, really, because they're doing this with their $200 a month customers in a very limited form, this notion of using AI as a research assistant. And actually, Google, the Gemini stuff has a little bit of this as well. And this is, it's kind of domain specific right now. I think it's like finance, certain sciences, engineering, that kind of stuff, where you have a body of work to work on that is not just finite, but is actually really well defined. And it's, intensive because there's a lot of, there, relatively speaking, a lot of data, but it's fine tuned to this stuff. I think, this is where it's going, of course, right? And so this is, we're going to be debating this for the rest of our lives, right? We're not going to see the end of this ourselves, but this is the type of thing I think in the future people are going to look back and say, I'm sorry, you're telling me that you used to pull a giant book off of a shelf, flip through it, and then find some, whatever it is, legal precedent, some engineering, data, whatever it is, to make a point in that, and you called that research? It's going to seem silly, right? But that's what we do, right? Not you and I, maybe. I don't do that. But that's what researchers do. A lot of this stuff is not, obviously computerization helps. But, having an AI, as long as it's grounded properly and working properly and reasoning and whatever it is, it's not there now, right? But, I think this is what's going to happen. This came up, I don't remember, before the show, when it was, but I mentioned that we were eating lunch and it was a TV on. There's no sound, but it was the president of Mexico giving an address in front of the Mexican Congress tied to the anniversary of the Mexican Constitution, which I believe is 107, 108 years old this year. And I'm looking at it's like CNN where they put a little text scroll at the bottom and kind of saying, this is what's happening right now.
Right.
And there was something up there about the popular vote. And I wasn't 100% sure what it meant, right? I got the popular vote part, but I was like, so I don't know. Actually, now I do know, but I didn't know at the time, 10 minutes ago, how Mexico elects their president. Like, I know it's every 6 years and you can't run again, but I didn't know, is it popular vote? Is it kind of electoral college, whatever, like we have, whatever. So I said to my wife, because again, I keep involving her in technology and she doesn't care, but I said, this is the perfect question for Gemini. I'm going to ask Gemini. And I asked Gemini, actually I might be able to bring it, I bet it's still there. It says, I can't help with responses on elections and political figures right now.
Oh, wow.
And I got to tell you, I feel like 50% of the time I ask AI to do something, I get a response like this. It's like, okay. So it literally says, and it goes on a little bit, but it says, while I work on improving, you should try Google search. So I did. That all came up in Spanish, despite the fact that I've configured it for English, and it took me a little while. But the net answer here is, across the board, up and down the political spectrum, Mexico elects using the popular vote, including with the president. So I found that out. I have no idea what she was talking about, because when I went to CNN, when I went to Google News, I went to Mexico News Daily. She talked today. There must be a news story about this. There was not. So maybe later I'll find out. Maybe it'll be in a weekly digest next week. I don't know. Things move slowly here. So anyway, I tried to, I wouldn't call this deep research, but I was like, okay, this is something AI should be able to handle. This is a very specific question that has a single answer.
Yeah.
Let's do it. And nope.
Nobody, huh?
Well, I didn't try others. We were eating lunch, but I tried Gemini and I was like, all right, I'm just going to Google this. It's stupid. So,
and did that work?
I
have so many AIs. I feel like one of them should know.
Yeah,
they're reluctant to talk about elections.
I hate to open Copilot on my computer because it's like a little cancer that keeps coming back. But we'll see if I'll give it a shot. Sure. I already regret it. As soon as I turn it on, I'm like, oh, you suck. Okay. Let's see what Copilot has to say on this topic. Let's see if they say anything. Think deeper. I'm going to have it think deeper too.
Oh, think as deep as you can, baby.
Yeah, baby. What system does Mexico use to elect their president? Right? It's a simple question. Oh, I got, it's making little curly cues. That's fun.
I have DeepSeek says, okay, let's tackle this query.
Right, exactly.
Has President Scheinbaum suggested changing how we vote? Yes. By the way, her predecessor suggested it, but he didn't have enough votes in the Congress to do it. President Claudia Sheinbaum has proposed significant changes to Mexico's electoral system, primarily through constitutional reforms that would alter legislative representation and weaken independent institutions. This builds on her predecessor's agenda. Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. They're going to abolish plurinomial representatives. I don't know. I don't know. It's complicated. It's complicated is the answer.
That sounds like object-oriented programming to me. It's like polymorphism.
Yeah. Plurinomial. This would remove... So seats allocated to parties based on their national vote share, which helps ensure minority votes in voices in Congress. This would remove 200 proportional representation seats. They have a 500-member Chamber of Deputies? Wow. Centralizing power around the majority parties like her Morena coalition. Yeah, it's a power grab. Critics argue this risks one-party dominance. See, and this is from China, by the way. This is from China.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
I've gotten a whole lot of nothing from Copilot. I'm going to try one more time. It's like, what?
I got a really elaborate result. She supports AMLO's judicial reform to replace appointed Supreme Court justices.
That was one of the first things.
And lower court justices with those with a popular vote. Reforms to dissolve autonomous bodies like the National Electoral Institute.
Oh, my God. So Copilot says, elections are fascinating, and I'd love to help. But I'm probably not the best source for something so important. Wow. What about what about the black mole on my arm? Can you tell me about that?
Oh, yeah, you got cancer.
Oh, you're dead.
But I can't tell you about elections. No. Scheinbaum has pledged to pass all 18 constitutional amendments proposed by AMLO, including, wow. She's talking about big reforms, big changes.
Yeah. Okay. So that happened to, I could see something was happening.
Something's happening.
Yeah.
They're saying we have Constitution. It's old. We need to fix it.
So the next headline, I'm almost going to get this in Spanish, was Activados Torinos protesting outside of the Capitol, something. And I'm like, oh, that must be some political thing. No, these are the people that don't want bulls to be sacrificed in arenas. And I'm pretty sure bullfighting ended in Mexico, I don't know, 10 years ago. It's been a while. So I'm not really sure what that was all about. So I have a lot of questions. So
the thing I love about Latin America, and actually the Latin community worldwide, is there's always a protest.
Oh my God! So
there's always a protest. It's true in Greece too. Come to think of it, I haven't traveled to a country yet. There isn't a protest going on every day.
So we've seen multiple protests in Mexico City. There's always something, and by the way, a lot of it's it's warranted, right? But I always launch into my Rick Steves impersonation when this happens. We're standing there in the Zocalo or whatever. These people marching by looking for like women's rights, maybe, or ending violence against women or whatever. It's perfectly yes. And then I'll be like, the Mexican people take to the streets to, I just like launch into this. It's like a cultural bouillabaisse. I just,
oh boy.
Yeah. You're witnessing history.
Isn't it interesting that at least in this regard, the Chinese AI is much less censored than the US
so it's
AI. They're very skittish about anything.
Is this we're going to consider that ironic? Everyone was jumping all over DeepSeek a week ago. Right. Oh, ask it about Tiananmen Square. Am I right?
Well,
I asked it about an election in another country and it wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
So explain to me which one of us is censored more. I mean, I don't even know what the point of it is. Anyway. Okay.
Welcome back to our cultural bouillabaisse.
Yep, that's what we are.
Hey, it's me, Leo Laporte. I hope you've enjoyed this little snippet from Windows Weekly. If you want to see more, want to catch the whole show, you can subscribe in your favorite podcast client or visit our website, twit.tv/WW. And of course, there's links right below me.